Hello and welcome to Learn Something. So now what do? You filled in all the easy and obvious cells. Now what? In lesson 2, we solved an entire easy level puzzle using just scanning and counting. But let's say that didn't solve the entire puzzle and now you're stuck. So what method can you use next? Well, that brings us to the next strategy you can and should use, looking at intersecting lines. And that's the topic here in lesson 3. If you want to follow along as I upload new lessons, please make sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss an episode. Now back to lesson 3, intersecting lines. Here is the basic rule and then I'll demonstrate. Starting with the number 1 and working through to the number 9, look for a block that does not contain that number. Then look for rows and columns with that number that intersect into the block. To illustrate intersecting lines, let's have a look at this easy level puzzle. We can start solving the puzzle using the scanning and counting techniques we covered in lesson 2, and we fill in as much of the puzzle as we can. So I'm going to fill in this puzzle as much as I can using a time lapse, and then I'll stop at the part where I get stuck. And now I have the puzzle as far as I can get using simple scanning, although some of you might have been a bit sharper and filled in some additional cells along the way, but for the most part, this is where we would be if we only scanned the puzzle. The next technique, counting, is not very useful since there are no rows, columns, or blocks with 8 cells filled in, so that's not much help. Now what? This is where the technique of intersecting lines comes in. It helps you to fill in any numbers you might not have seen using the scanning method. What you do is, starting with the number 1, look for blocks that don't have that number. And then look to the rows and columns that do have that number. And see how they intersect in the block to eliminate cells. So let's start with the number 1 and look for blocks that don't have the number 1 in them. We see here only this block, block 4. And now if you look across the rows and columns for the number 1, drawing lines to intersect with block 4, we can eliminate all the cells that the lines cross over, and we're left with only one possible cell, so the number 1 must go here. Now all the 1s are accounted for. Let's move on to the number 2 and look for a block missing the number 2. And we see the 2 is missing from blocks 1, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 9. In fact, there are only 3 blocks that have the number 2 in them. Let's have a look at block 8. We can take this 2 and draw a line across, and then this 2 and draw a line down, and now all these cells are eliminated, so what's left? Only this cell is left, so let's put a 2 here. Let's see if we can place any more 2s. Yes, if we look at block 5, now we have 2 2s in this stack, so we can place the third 2 here. Can we do anything with block 4? Well, we have a 2 here and a 2 here, so drawing lines up and across, we can eliminate all the cells except for these 2. So let's leave that alone for now. What about block 6? Again, we can follow the lines from the 2s down and across, and this way we eliminate all but 2 possible cells, so we'll leave that alone for now as well. In the next lesson, lesson 4, I'll show you how to use pencil marks to write in candidates, but let's leave that be for now. The same goes for block 9, using intersecting lines from this 2 down and this 2 across. We can eliminate all the cells but these 2. So now we've done the numbers 1 and 2, let's move on to the number 3. And we see there's only one block that doesn't have a 3 in it, and that's block 9. So using intersecting lines, let's find the 3s outside the block and draw lines through it. There are lots of 3s outside the block to draw lines, and once we do that, we can easily see that the only cell a 3 can go in is here, and so now all the 3s have been placed. On to the number 4, we see that block 2 needs a 4, but intersecting lines won't help us there until we find another 4. Let's look at block 9. We can use the 4 above and draw a line down, and then the 4 here in block 7 and draw a line across. And now we see that the only place a 4 can go is here. I can backtrack now and place the 2 in this block as well. You can see the number 2 intersects from rows G and J and down from column 9 to eliminate all the cells except this one. So we can place a 2 here. Now let's look at block 4. We can easily place the number 4 here. Okay, let's move on to the number 5. Remember, we're working our way through all the numbers from 1 through 9 sequentially, and we see that only blocks 8 and 9 are missing the number 5. So let's see if we can use intersecting lines to place the number 5. Here in block 8, we can see that the lines don't help us place the number, but in block 9, we can place the 5 here. And once we do that, we can now go back to block 8 and place the 5 here. And now we've placed all the 5s. Now I can continue on, but I just noticed that block 9 has 8 cells filled in, so only one number is missing. And using counting, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, we see it's the 9. So we can place the 9 here, and this block is done. And if we look at row G, only one cell is missing a number. And using counting, we see it's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's the 6 that's missing. So now we have row G complete. Is there anything else we can fill in using counting? Yes, row H. So let's see what's missing. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's the 8. So we can fill that in as well. And now row H is done. Now block 7 needs just one number, and it's the 6, so we can place it here, and block 7 is done. Okay, let's get back to intersecting lines. We were done with 5, so let's move on to 6. Looking up the left stack, we can see we have 2 6s, here and here. Then the third 6 has to go here in block 1. I can't place any more 6s for now, so let's move on to the number 7. And I don't see anywhere I can place a 7, so let's move on to the number 8. Block 1 needs an 8. Looking outside of the block, we find 8s here and here. And using intersecting lines, we see that these placed 8s eliminate all the cells except this one, so the 8 must go here. Now looking across the top rank, we see we now have 2 8s, so we can place the third one here. Once we place that 8, we can backtrack and place the number 6 here. Do you see that? Always remember to backtrack to see if you can now place numbers you couldn't before, since every time you place a number, it has ramifications on numbers that previously couldn't be placed. Looking at block 4, we see it still needs the number 8, and using the 8s outside of block 4, we can draw lines that intersect with the block and eliminate all the cells except this one, so this must be the 8. Now block 8 still needs an 8, so let's see where it can go, and it has to go here. And now there is only one number missing from this block, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, the number 4, and now this block is done and all the 8s have been placed. Next is the number 9. Are there any blocks missing a 9? Right away we see block 1 is missing a 9, and it can only go here, so let's fill that in. Now looking at block 2, it still needs a 9, and looking outside the block for 9s, we can draw lines and find that the 9 must go here. Now block 5 also needs a 9, and it goes here. Now we need to backtrack a bit since we filled in quite a lot of numbers and didn't really look back to see how they affected our puzzle. Looking at block 2, we see the 6 must now go here. There is nowhere else it can go. And now the 7 must go here. And then the 4 here. And block 2 is solved. Using counting, we can complete row A. The 2 is missing, so let's fill that in. And in row C, we have one number missing. And also block 1 has one number missing, and it's the number 7. Block 4 needs some work. We placed a 2 in block 7, so that means the 2 must go here. And now just 2 numbers are missing from this block, the 7 and the 9. Well, the 7 can't go here because of this 7, so it must go here. And therefore the 9 goes here. And now we're done with block 4. Moving on to block 5, there are 2 numbers missing. Those are the 4 and the 6. But now if we look at block 4, we have a 4 here in row D, so there can't be a 4 here, and so this must be the 6, and this the 4, and block 5 is done. There's one cell empty in row D, and it's 1, 2, the number 2, so we can place the 2 here, and now row D is done. Now looking at block 6, we have 1, 2, 3, so we need to place a 4, and using intersecting lines, we see it must go here. The 6 is missing, and again we can look outside the block and use intersecting lines to find where the 6 can go, and it must go here. We still need a 7 and a 9 to complete this block. The 7 can't go here because of this 7, so it has to go here. And therefore the 9 goes here, and the 7 here, and now block 6 is done. Now we just need to finish up block 3, and we can easily do this by looking down columns 7 and 9 and using counting. There is one number missing from column 7, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's the number 7, so we can place that here. And that leaves the last number, 9, to be placed here, and now the puzzle is done. In the next video, I'll show you how to use pencil marking to make solving much easier by writing in possible candidates. There is a strategy to using pencil marking correctly, or you'll end up with a very messy and marked up puzzle. So please join me in the next video on pencil marking, and click the subscribe button so you know when I upload a video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you learned something.